Forever. Dog.
Welcome to Public Domain Theater with Kelly Nugent, Lindsay Katai, and guest Patrick Ehlers. This week, The Outcasts of Poker Flat by Bret Harte.
Welcome to Public Domain Theater, the podcast of highbrow readings and lowbrow commentary. I'm one of your hosts, Lindsay Katai.
I'm another one of your hosts, Kelly Nugent.
And today on the podcast, we have another podcaster, comedian, improviser, all-around good guy.
Oh, man of the people. Great.
Man of the people.
Great guy.
You
I
may
think
know
of myself
him
as a man of the people.
We didn't introduce you
Oh,
yet.
I apologize.
Not a man of the people,
you may know him
honestly.
from
He's a man...
Man of the Interrupter, classic man. Anyway, I guess Patrick Ehlers is here.
Young Patrick.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. You're one of our favorite people.
We
We love you.
This
our
is one of
favorite
my
guests.
favorite shows.
Aw.
Thank you.
How dare you say one of your favorite?
Well, the other one is Teen Creeps.
Obviously.
Oh, here we go. This is you guys work as a team.
Uh-huh.
I'm the truth.
The other one is our
Over your
other
eyes, sheeple.
podcast.
Yeah, the others are same day shipping. There's a show that you and I are on.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
another
Yes, true, it's
favorite.
true. It's true.
Mhm.
True.
Or Nintendo Cartridge Society.
Another
there
favorite.
we go.
Yeah.
Fantastic favorite.
Look at this awesome way that we so slyly slipped in Patrick's
we did a plug
other
at the
credits.
That's a
beginning.
very nice job.
Yeah.
Here, listen up. We're professionals.
We are
Even when
professionals.
sweat is dripping off of our bodies and we've got a wet cookie in the other room.
Not the moist
Got
cookie
a moist,
again.
moist,
Just the
melting
moistest
cookie.
It's just sliding,
It's
slipping
got
around.
big old
staining the
pepperoni-sized
sheets.
chocolate chips.
Oh, what?
Oh, girl, it is. That's
Discs, medallions, some would say.
medallions. These juicy medallions. You bite into it's like a souffle, baby. It's dirty and it's ready for your little baby mouth.
It's
This
going to
is as
stain
bad as
your
your-
teeth.
Yeah. When you bite into it, when Patrick bit into it, a little chocolate chip kissed his cheek and left a mark.
I'm fine with that part. That
Oh, really?
part was fine.
Yeah, that part was actually kind of
It was
sweet.
kind of
Yeah.
sweet.
That
It made you
was
seem
my
like
cheek,
a
yeah.
cute little boy.
Like a cherub.
I was
Mhm.
going to say, it's like a pixie jumped out of the cookie and kissed your cheek.
Took a little dump on your face.
Oh, well, I don't care for that at all.
Hey, we're a clean
now.
podcast. We're clean. We don't curse.
We work clean. We're family oriented.
We are a
Family
family.
values.
We are a family. Patrick lives in the home that we share.
Mhm. Normally, you only pull me out to talk about Lois Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were good this week, so
Thank
we
you. I
decided
appreciate-
to-
We also pulled
I
you out to
appreciate it.
talk about the god Pan.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
We had to do
And that
flute
other
music
thing.
together.
Yeah. On
Oh, yeah.
Like a wolf
Saki.
boy or something.
Oh, right. A wild wolf boy that's inside all of us.
Mhm.
Because, guys, guess what? We're on the spectrum.
That's a plug for Patrick's previous episode on Public Domain Theater.
Yeah, check that out.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun one. I had fun.
Yeah, it was
It
fun.
was a
and,
fun one.
and you should have fun too. I almost threw. Guys, we're punchy right now because it's so warm in
It's
this
too
room.
I
hot.
don't know
It's
if you
hot in
heard
this
from the
room.
internet, but there is a heat wave.
There is a heat wave. It's so
Has
hot.
the internet told you that there's a heat wave?
Has
In
it
Los
told
Angeles?
you about? Hashtag LA heatwave.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's terrible.
Okay, guess what? So again,
Chicken
Bret is
butt.
not here. Brett, that's a really funny joke. That's so funny
Came
joke.
up with it.
I love
so
it. I
funny.
love it.
Can I? Do you mind if I like tweet that?
You know what? Yes.
I'll tribute you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Brett's not here.
It's true.
Brett's not here. He emailed us. So
Mhm.
again, it'll just be us screaming at a
Yeah.
person who's not here.
And then just constantly complimenting Jannar.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing.
Because he didn't choose the story.
He didn't choose the story. He dressed right for the
he's
occasion.
Like
His
an enterprising
shoulders are
young
showing.
man.
He's the
Yeah.
only one who
Yeah.
dressed right for the occasion, as far as I'm concerned.
Honestly. Oh, wow.
Last-
Rude. I'm wearing shorts.
Last time,
The only
I
one
saw
dressed
him.
right.
I saw him while we were recording. I saw
Yeah.
him meditating.
Oh, yeah.
He was just sitting there and meditating.
Yeah.
That's
Here's
smart.
the thing. He's always
It's like
centered.
he's like so centered.
He's so centered
He's
when
like
you
super zen.
well, because you walk in the room, right, and you're
He's
like
like-
stressed, right?
He's a
he-
light. He brings a light.
He brings a light.
Like you walk in the room and Jannar is glowing.
And he also will he'll notice, oh, there's
Mhm.
something up with you. He'll come up to you, he'll grab your shoulders, and he'll say like, just stay still. And you'll be like, I am still. And he's like, are you inside?
Are you really? And you'll realize you're not.
You're not. And you're
You
like,
realize
you're
you've
right.
never been still.
You've never been still.
Never.
And then he says that
You've
out loud,
never
and you're
known a
like,
center.
that's what I.
And then you're like, now I feel it.
know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what's great is that these are all things that we actually think, and it's coming off as a joke.
No, it's coming off a joke. I
It's
don't
coming
get
off
why.
as a joke.
Honestly, I feel
I
attacked
don't
that
know
you
why.
think we're joking
Yeah.
because
But,
it's
like,
real.
These are our real thoughts that you can't say to Janar's face. You can only say it when there's a microphone.
Yeah,
Because
and he's
otherwise
facing away
you're
from
too
you.
vulnerable. You're too vulnerable.
Are you guys ever worried about that? That like we share so much on microphone and on podcasts that like this is the only place where we can really say and like really express ourselves and be vulnerable?
It's actually very Mr. Rogers because he has given
Sad.
he gave
Have you watched that
interviews.
yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I cried all the way through
Yeah,
it. So
same.
watch.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw most of it.
I saw it twice,
Mhm.
and I left both times incredibly depressed.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah, me too.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the man died feeling like a failure.
Yes.
Yeah,
9/11 made him feel like he had
like
lost
what's
the battle.
what's even
and
the
like,
point?
and then it's very clear that everyone in his life feels hopeless about current times.
Oh, absolutely. They're all like, well, if he,
Well, I
they're
mean,
like, see,
why
I
should
don't
they be
know.
different from
They're
the rest
so
of us?
browbeaten.
Yeah.
It's
It's true.
it's a real heartwarming bummer.
Yeah,
But-
it is very heartwarming. And then you
And then you leave.
You
leave
feel the Fred
very
Rogers shaped
despondent.
hole in the universe as you leave.
absolutely,
You do.
Ah.
But he gave an interview, and it's included in the documentary, where he's talking about how having Daniel Striped Tiger,
Mm.
he's able to express
yes.
his vulnerability through the puppet in a way, so he can say through Daniel Tiger, "Can I have a hug?" Whereas as a
scared,
grown
yeah.
man, if he turned to the interviewer and was like, "Can I have
Can
a
I have
hug?"
a hug?
That'd be insane.
Mm.
It's like that.
Yeah, and I also
So
find
the microphones are our Daniel Striped Tigers.
well, it's total, and also I find I'm a way better conversationalist with people that I don't know if I have a microphone in front of me.
Well, yeah, there's something about like the tacit
Mhm.
agreement that you make of like the time that we are spending together now is for the time we spend together now.
Yeah.
Like in any other circumstance, it'd be like there's a meal that's involved, or like you
Mhm.
can go to your phone,
Mhm.
or they can talk to someone else or leave.
We were able to jack your energy up for the sake of the other person in the podcast, as opposed to like, I feel bad for my boyfriend when I get home because it's like I've had my energy jacked up all day because I'm around other people and I'm
Mhm.
trying to be funny in meetings and blah, 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 doing bits. And then I get home and it's my chance to like release and not have to perform. But then my poor boyfriend's there and it's like, sorry, I spent all my energy, bro.
Yeah, you're like I just can't talk
It's
for the
not
next
fair.
2 hours.
It's for me. It's
So he gets the sleepiest Lindsay.
Micah is very tired after work, and I come back after a podcast, and I'm like, woo! And I'm like jumping on him. I'm
You're
like,
up after a podcast.
Oh, God.
I
Oh,
take a
no,
nosedive.
here's the thing. I am jacked up. I am like, and then I get very tired like an hour later.
I'll sleep for 2 days after this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, goodbye. Nice knowing you.
Oh,
I'll see you
you're
at
like
Comic-Con.
Ant-Man
Yeah.
when he gets real big.
That's right.
Oh,
Did you guys see
haven't seen Ant-Man and Wasp yet.
I really liked it. Lindsay
How do
did
you
not.
feel? You did
So,
not like
what
it?
story are we reading today?
Oh no!
Well, we're reading something by Bret Harte, which
wrestler.
Brett,
the Hitman, obviously.
Brett, you
Bret the
chose
Hitman
this
Hart.
because of your name.
It's so
It's
transparent.
so obvious. It's like frankly embarrassing. Do you guys know anything about Bret Harte?
No.
I know he died in the ring.
Guess what? Okay, what? He died in the ring. Okay, I'll give you this hint. Died in the ring in 1902.
Uh-huh.
When was he born? You were very good at guessing when they're born.
I'm going to say 1863.
67 was going to be my guess.
You're both embarrassingly wrong.
I was guessing he died in his 40s.
But you know what? You said 1863.
Mm-hmm.
You're not 1836. Flip it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. And I'm right.
Oh, and I
I'm
meant
very good.
70. What was the opposite of what I said? 76?
76.
Yeah.
1876.
Okay, so he was an American short story writer and poet. He's best remembered for his short fiction featuring miners, gamblers, and other rascally figures of the California Gold Rush.
People
Minors
people
are-
who mine and
I
not
thought it
under
was
18.
children. I
Right,
was
no.
like, children are such rascals.
So I can hear Brett saying this one.
Okay, you want to try again?
Gamblers and other rascally figures of the California Gold Rush. It's a slight accent.
No, I wasn't getting it
Gamblers
then.
and other rascally
No, you were doing better on
It
the
was
last
because
episode.
it was such a Bret sentence.
It was. Well, again, yeah.
Gamblers and other rascally figures of the California Gold Rush.
Closer.
You know what it is? Bret speaks like he's very metered, but also
it's very
speaks
like,
a little like a roller coaster.
Is it a pitch thing or a speed?
Speed.
Okay.
But a little bit of a little
Little pitch goes with it?
It's like a little
bit of it?
Yeah. He was born in Albany, New York. His father was an Orthodox Jewish immigrant who flourished as a merchant, became one of the founders of the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh,
Fancy. What?
Check out the Harte family.
He was an avid reader as a boy. He published his first work at age 11, a satirical poem titled Autumn Musings, now lost. Good riddance. It's probably terrible.
Yeah, I wrote poetry too at that age.
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
see.
mean it was good.
Now lost is commentary, not part of the title.
No, now lost.
Autumn Musings, now lost.
No, it is commentary, yes. In that case, sad.
Yeah, real sad. For 11?
Now lost to us.
He didn't attract praise. He got ridicule from his family. Ugh.
Same.
Duh.
Same.
You were writing 11-year-old poetry. Did
They
you
were
think
all
it was
like-
going to be good?
They were like, this is bad.
That's embarrassing that you thought that.
Such a shock was their ridicule to me that I wonder that I ever wrote another line of verse. His formal schooling ended when he was 13. He moves to California in 1853. Unsuccessful attempt to make a living in the gold mining camps. He signed on as a messenger with Wells Fargo and Co. He guarded treasure boxes on stagecoaches for a few months.
Cool.
That's cool.
Can we do that? That sounds like fun.
That sounds like
Fargo
fun.
wagon is a coming down the
I don't know the song.
The other word. Music Man.
Oh, I don't know Music Man. Sorry.
I think you're better
Embarrassing.
off not knowing Music Man.
What?
I don't like Music Man. I don't need it.
You liked Ant-Man and the Wasp, but you don't like Music Man?
Yeah, I enjoy laughter. I like to laugh.
I think not.
Shapoopy. That's
There
Music
you
Man.
go.
Mhm.
know
Oh, I
that.
hate that. I do hate that song in it.
Yeah.
It's the worst number.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
Shapoopy. During his tenure as a teacher, so he gives up the guarding thing. He decides to become a schoolmaster at a school near Sonora. He's a teacher. He starts to publish short stories. He's like drawing from his experiences in the mining camps and frontier towns. He strikes up a friendship with Mark Twain. But then
Oh.
they had a bitter falling out.
Mm.
Mark Twain drags him, says his writing is insecure.
Oh, no.
That is such
what
a mean thing to say. That is the meanest
What
thing
a
you can say about someone's
bitch.
writing.
Because it's true of all writers.
Meow.
Right?
Yeah,
Seriously.
Claws out.
God.
claws out. Totally. It's like, oh, wow, that's mean because it's true.
Yeah, because everyone feels it.
Wow. Twain.
Twain.
You cunt.
Oh my God, get this. Writing in his autobiography, Twain criticized the miner's dialect used by Harte, claiming it never existed outside of his imagination.
What?
He also tried to block Harte's appointment to the position of United States consul in the town of Krefeld, Germany, writing, Harte is a liar, a thief, a swindler, a snob, a snob, a sot, a sponge.
Something happened.
He called him a sponge.
Yeah.
A sponge, a coward,
That
a Jeremy
fucking sponge.
Diddler.
A Jeremy Diddler.
He is brimful of treachery. To send this nasty creature to puke upon the American name in a foreign land is too much.
Mark Twain, ladies and gentlemen.
Girl.
Wow, that's a
Put
drag.
the claws away.
Wow. Something happened. For
Something
sure.
serious happened. Okay.
You think they were
So-
together at some point?
Maybe.
This is like an ex-lover's hatred.
For sure.
Or you slept with somebody
That
I was
could also
with.
be.
Yeah.
Hatred.
Mm-hmm. After living-
Or he was like, you owe me $5. I'm not paying. You know I don't. You little sponge.
you sponge,
You
you,
fucking-
You,
Sponge.
Jeremy Diddler.
you
are a Jeremy Diddler if ever I saw a Diddler.
Is that is Diddler capitalized in that? Like, is
It
that a
says
name?
the name Jeremy Diddler.
Okay. I was wondering if it was just like a one who diddles Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know who Jeremy Diddler is.
Neither
I'm
do
looking
I.
it up.
Yeah.
I
guess
want
what?
to know. Well, he criticized the whole miner's dialect. Does that mean we have Bret Harte to thank for the
The like old
the
timey
classic?
prospector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we're about
Well,
to
then
see.
fuck you,
Or-
Twain. How dare you try to keep that from the world?
Or what if we read it and we're like, what the fuck are these people saying?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh,
But
man,
then we
I
would
just
never have
glanced.
gotten Will Ferrell's classic, like, cinnamon and gravy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you know
the
what?
world would be worse off without that.
Just let it go. Like, just let him do his thing. If he wants to write fake dialect, fine.
Yeah, I mean, something happened between these guys.
Absolutely.
It can't possibly be all professional.
Okay, Jeremy Diddler is a fictional character in James Kenney's 1803 farce, Raising the Wind. A needy, artful swindler, Jeremy Diddler has become a stock farce character, and the word diddle may be derived from him.
Oh my
Oh.
God! Wow. Well,
After
after
maybe he tried to steal some of his writing.
that could be it too.
Yeah.
That could be it too. After living the last quarter of his life in Europe, Harte died in 1902 in England of throat cancer. That's it.
In the ring.
In the ring.
From
It was just a
eating
coincidence.
too much pee.
Pee-pee?
No, the word I can't say.
Oh.
You know that Michael Douglas
The Michael
thing?
Douglas thing, yeah.
That
He got
gross
throat
Michael-
cancer from having too
from-
much oral sex.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's what he says.
From
That he ate too much puss?
Mm-hmm. And that it gave him cancer.
That's what he said.
You know what? If you're gonna whatever, I'll let him do
I was just
it.
talking about this with Mike because of Ant-Man.
Right. That's why it's also top of mind for me because of Ant-Man and Wasp. See, it's
Wait,
bringing us
why?
together now.
Wait, why?
While also driving us apart.
Is there a lot of like? Is there
While
a lot
keeping
of?
us apart spatially?
Is there a lot of eating
In Ant-Man?
eating it?
It's too much
Tons.
for my taste. That's why I did not like it. I'm a real
5
Margaret
stars for me.
clutching my pearls.
Oh my
It used
God!
the P word at least 20 times too many, in my opinion.
All right, you ready to read this thing?
Let's do it. I'm hot.
Yeah, I'm hot too. Okay, so it's got 4 pages. Well, 3.5. So what do we do? Like a page and like a little line each.
Page and a little bit more.
Great,
What's 4 divided by 3?
but
1
it's like
and 1/3.
but it's like this. It's like barely.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just
So
do
just each-
like a page and like this,
Okay.
and then leave the rest for Patrick.
For Patty.
Mhm.
Patricia.
What does your mom call you,
Patricia.
Pat?
Pa.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Pat.
It's got like a silent H at the end of it.
Yeah,
Pa.
Pat.
As Mr. John Oakhurst, a gambler, stepped into the main street of Poker Flat on the morning of the 23rd of November, 1850, he was conscious of a change in its moral atmosphere since the preceding night.
Ooh.
2 or 3 men, conversing earnestly together, ceased as he approached and exchanged significant glances.
Are you picturing 2 men or 3 men?
3.
Okay.
Great.
I'll picture
Right?
2.
Also, you
Wait,
don't have
what?
to say 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a 2 or 3 men.
Missed the 2 or 3.
Also, if it's that little of a number, you can just
You
pick
know
one.
how
You
many it
know
is.
how
Yeah.
many. It reminds me of you know when people lie about like how many people they've had sex with. And there was in high school there was this guy that was like, yeah, I'm totally like not a virgin. I've had sex like so many times. And then someone was like, how many times? And he was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4. And then we were like, well, you would know.
You would know the difference between 3 and 4.
You would know. Like
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how far apart the incidences were.
We're talking high school now,
high
right?
school. And like,
yeah, well, like when
you're a
did
high
he
school
start?
kid-
12?
When did he start? As a child? As a baby?
Yeah, because then you might forget.
Ugh,
That's all
babies-
I'm saying.
Babies, fucking babies, man. Okay.
How many partners you guys?
I don't know, like 3 or 4.
I don't know,
Like
like
3 or
13 or
4.
14.
Now that's when you'd lose track.
Right.
There was a Sabbath lull in the air, which, in a settlement unused to Sabbath influences, looked
Ooh.
ominous. What does that mean?
Not religious.
Okay.
That would be my guess too. That
Yeah.
there's some sort of, because he mentioned a change in the moral atmosphere
right.
earlier.
So there's like a weird, creepy churchiness happening.
Yeah,
Or a lack of churchiness.
but they're not accustomed to there being a
it says there was a
churchiness.
Sabbath lull in the air, which, in a settlement unused to it, looked ominous.
Okay.
We're there. We got this.
We got it.
Okay.
Mr. Oakhurst's calm, handsome face betrayed small concern in these indications.
Okay.
Whether he was conscious of any predisposing cause was another question. I reckon they're after somebody, he reflected. Likely it's me. He returned to his pocket the handkerchief with which he had been whipping away the red dust of Poker Flat from his neat boots and quietly discharged his mind of any further conjecture.
Oh, I don't want to hear anything about
Discharge?
discharging minds.
You can just say you don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Moist cookie.
He discharged,
that cookie.
he
Oh, it's gonna get
discharged
all
of
over
his
his
mind
boots.
that moist cookie on his boots. In point of fact, Poker Flat was after somebody. It had lately suffered the loss of several $1,000s, 2 valuable horses, and a prominent citizen.
Stakes.
Oh.
These are the
Yeah,
stakes.
these are the stakes.
Yeah.
It was experiencing a spasm of virtuous reaction, quite as lawless and ungovernable as any of the acts that had provoked it. A secret committee had determined to rid the town of all improper persons.
Oh.
This was done permanently in regard
Witch
of
hunts.
2 men who were then hanging from the boughs of a sycamore in the gulch,
Oh, no.
Mm.
and temporarily in the banishment of certain other objectionable characters. I regret to say that
Women.
some of these were ladies.
There you go.
I knew it.
It is but due to the sex, however, to state that their impropriety was professional. And it was
They hung
yeah.
prostitutes?
no, they're not being
Don't
hanged. They're
excuse it.
banished. They're banished.
Okay.
Still, though, don't banish
So,
people for,
yeah,
for,
that's not
for being a sex worker. And it was only in such easily established standards of evil that Poker Flat ventured to sit in judgment. Mr. Oakhurst was right in supposing that he was included in this category. A few of the committee had urged hanging him as a possible example, and a sure method of reimbursing themselves from his pockets of the sums he had won from them.
So is Oakhurst a
Oh,
prostitute?
oh.
I don't know what's
I
happening
think
in this
he's a
story.
gambler.
He's a gambler.
It's like we really, with so
But
many
this
of
is
these
Poker
stories, why do they
Flats.
throw us in the deep end?
Yeah. So I see. So he's one of the unwanteds.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I think is happening, and it's funny because when I listen back to these episodes, it's always like so clear to me what the story is. But when I'm listening to it here and now, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I think it's like a
They're cleaning up the
Deadwood
town.
lawless
Mhm.
town. But
Mm.
because some real shit went down, they're like, fuck it, we're expelling
Yeah.
everyone. And it's like, well, you're a gambling town, so what's this about? And they're like, shut up.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe.
It's again justice, said Jim Wheeler, to let this yer young man from Roaring Camp, an entire stranger, carry away our money. But a crude sentiment of equity residing in the breasts of those who had been fortunate enough to win from Mr. Oakhurst overruled this narrower local prejudice.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. We're there.
Yep.
Mr. Oakhurst received his sentence with philosophic calmness, none the less coolly that he was aware of the hesitation of his judges. He was too much of a gambler not to accept fate. With him, life was at best an uncertain game, and he recognized the usual percentage in favor of the dealer. All right, this guy's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Does he consider
He's
himself
also like,
the
the
dealer?
house always wins.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. He's a gambler. He's too much of a gambler
When was this
not
story
to
written?
accept fate. Wait, so that means, okay, if you're too much of a gambler not to accept fate,
fate.
it means
you
you
do
do
accept
accept
fate.
it. Right, and because you know that
You
life is
don't
unfair.
Not accept fate.
Yeah.
This guy sounds
This
great to me
guy's
so far.
language
Yeah.
does not flow.
A body of armed men accompanied the deported wickedness of Poker Flat to the outskirts of the settlement, besides Mr. Oakhurst, who was known to be a coolly desperate man, and for whose intimidation the armed escort was intended. The expatriated party consisted of a young woman familiarly known as the Duchess.
His language
Yeah.
is
It's real rough.
so dense.
Another,
I'm in like a thicket of like pretentious
Mhm.
trying.
Yeah.
I
Some
get
would
the
say
Twain thing
insecure,
now.
yeah.
Some
yeah,
would
you know
say,
what?
yeah,
I think we're Team
insecure.
Twain.
Mm-hmm.
Another,
That happened so quickly.
yeah, we turned, I mean, it's like 3 paragraphs, who had won the title of Mother Shipton, and Uncle Billy, a suspected sluice robber and confirmed drunkard.
Oh, sluice rummer.
Nice. What are you robbing a sluice? What are you robbing a sluice?
What is
What's
a
a sluice?
I don't know. I just liked the sound of it.
Is a
Oh,
sluice
it's
robber
the
stealing
sluice John
sluice?
B.
Oh, wait.
Like the
Okay,
Beach
hold on.
Boys
That's
song.
right.
I'm
So
going
it's
to
a
bet what
boat?
it is. I
Yeah.
think I know what it is. Okay, a sluice, I think, is like when you're like panning for gold, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
I'm going to guess. What is a sluice?
So, it could be those like gold panning pans.
Okay, this was published 1869. Oh, he was only 2 years old when he wrote this, according to your guess.
I stand by my guess.
Do you
Which
guys
was
want to know?
76.
Okay,
when we
so
I
reversed
thought
it.
it was 67.
hold on. So I typed in what is a sluice. I accidentally clicked what is sluice room. Do you guys want to know what a sluice room is?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
please.
It's where disposables such as incontinence pads and bedpans are dealt with.
Oh.
It is a well-planned and properly equipped sluice room is a cornerstone of hygiene and freedom from cross infections.
In what year?
I think this is like now. What is...
You have a diaper room? You have like an entire diaper room?
And people are robbing it? Oh, fuck yes, I was right. Sluice robber. One way of separating gold from the gravel and sand in which it is found is to put the mixture into a slanting trough called a sluice through which water is run.
They're just gold thieves.
4th grade, learning about California history really did help.
Hell yeah.
I shouldn't have learned about Wisconsin history.
You look like an
It's
idiot.
not helping me at all now.
Nobody gives a shit about
What
Wisconsin
did you
history.
study in the 4th grade then?
About the woods?
Yeah, a lot of Native American names that we pronounce with like long German accents.
Great.
What was yours?
Kenosha.
Oh, my Native American name in my studies in 4th grade was Moonchild.
Great.
We didn't take names. That was just the name of my
Yeah,
town was
no.
Kenosha.
Right, because you had
Boundaries.
actual
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
no,
yes.
an
yeah,
actual culture of Native Americans as opposed
do you want
to
to hear
like
Micah's? It's really cute, and he'd be so embarrassed if the world knew. And now I'm going to tell you guys
Let's hear it.
his because they did what's that thing? It's not Boy Scouts, but it's like they call it like something guides or something, like Native American guides or something. Anyway, he did this thing in Chicago, and his name, and he's like, it was not great that we did that, but his name was Little Orange Pumpkin.
No. Little Orange Pumpkin.
yeah, it was like a super white idea of what Native American names were.
Yeah.
Aren't all
It's
the
embarrassing.
all scouting groups like just like take over Native American culture,
Basically
right?
racist?
Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, totally.
Hashtag
Yeah.
basically racist.
Mhm.
Hashtag basic racist. Don't be a basic race.
Okay.
Just- So, sluice robber.
Sluice robber.
He's just like down at the end of the ramp with like a sack.
Yeah, he's just
capturing
going to
the gold.
capture the gold. The cavalcade provoked no comments from the spectators, nor was any word uttered by the escort. Only when the gulch which marked the uttermost limit of Poker Flat was reached, the leader spoke briefly and to the point. I'm like, this fucking story, am I right?
Yeah, you are right.
The exiles were forbidden to return at the peril of their lives.
Sure.
As the escort disappeared, the pent-up feelings found vent in a few hysterical tears from the Duchess, some bad language from Mother Shipton, and a Parthian volley of expletives from Uncle Billy.
They kicked out a duchess?
No,
She's just
her
known as
name.
the Duchess.
That's her name.
Although I
Okay.
thought she was named as Mother Shipton. Mother Shipton is a
Is a different woman.
person. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. The philosophic Oakhurst alone remained silent. He listened calmly to Mother Shipton's desire to cut somebody's heart out, to the repeated statements.
Fuck yeah, Mother Shipton.
Yeah. Why don't we hear that?
Bold.
Oof, to the repeated statements of the Duchess that she would die in the road, and to the alarming oaths that seemed to be bumped out of Uncle Billy as he rode forward. With the easy good humor of characteristic of his class, he insisted upon exchanging his own riding horse, 5 Spot, for the sorry mule which the Duchess rode. But even this act did not draw the party into any closer sympathy. The young woman readjusted her somewhat draggled plumes with a feeble, faded coquetry. Coquetry.
Probably coquetry.
Coquetry. Mother Shipton eyed the possessor of 5 Spot with malevolence, and Uncle Billy included the whole party in one sweeping anathema.
I'm not making jokes because I don't know what the fuck this story is yet.
So they've all been banished,
sure.
And they're being led out of town.
and they're
Well,
pissed.
Well, the problem now is that I do understand what's going on and
and nothing else is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we've got an anathema going on.
yeah, by
That's
Uncle
okay.
Billy. The road to Sandy Bar, a camp that, not having as yet experienced the regenerating influences of Poker Flat, consequently seemed to offer some invitation to the emigrants, lay over a steep mountain range. It was distant a day's severe travel. In that advanced season, the party soon passed out of the moist, temperate regions of the foothills
Moist cookie.
into the dry, cold, bracing air of the Sierras. The trail was narrow and difficult. At noon, the Duchess, rolling out of her saddle upon the ground, declared her intention of going no farther, and the party halted. The spot was singularly wild and impressive. A wooded amphitheater surrounded on 3 sides by precipitous... I'm going to take that again. A wooded amphitheater surrounded on 3 sides by precipitous cliffs of naked granite, sloped gently towards the crest of another precipice that overlooked the valley.
I'll tell you what, if they stop here and put on a show,
Hilarious.
then I'm all in.
Hilarious.
Then
I would love that.
want this
Hell
story.
yeah.
They want to
Love that.
save the amphitheater.
Hell yeah.
They just need to put on one great
They
show.
just need to get $200 and then they can buy the theater.
It was undoubtedly the most suitable spot for a camp, had camping been advisable. But Mr. Oakhurst knew that scarcely half the journey to Sandy Bar was accomplished, and the party were not equipped or provisioned for the delay. This fact he pointed out to his companions curtly, with a philosophic commentary on the folly of throwing up their hand before the game was played out. Everyone's like, we got it, you're a gambler.
Also,
It's like, what are you, a My Little Pony, where you just have like gambler stamped on your butt and that's all you talk about?
Yeah.
Well, he's either always a gambler or always philosophic. I believe that's the third time he's been described as philosophic.
Yeah.
True. Always a gambler, never a bride.
So sad. But they were furnished with liquor, which in this emergency stood them in the place of food, fuel, rest, and prescience. In spite of his remonstrances, it was not long before they were more or less under its influence. Uncle Billy passed rapidly from a bellicose state into one of stupor. The Duchess became maudlin, and Mother Shipton snored. Mr. Oakhurst alone remained erect, sitting on a rock.
Nice.
Nice, he had a big old boner.
He just kept it up.
He just kept it up
He
all
just
night.
Remained.
Remained
It just remained.
erect.
I'm going to use that.
Nevertheless, he
I am
remained.
remaining erect.
Leaning against a rock, calmly surveying them. Mr. Oakhurst did not drink. It interfered with a profession which required coolness,
Isn't he the one who
impassiveness.
pulled the liquor out?
I think he wanted to make them drunk.
I don't like this
Sneaky
guy.
Pete.
He's
have
sneaky.
have a drink with your friends.
Yeah.
These are your friends now, by the way.
This is your family now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're not friends, we're
I
family.
mean, that guy's Uncle Billy.
that's right. And you've got a Mother Shipton.
Yeah.
there you go, everybody's family.
Plus, you all have to go ruin this new town together,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. That they're being sent to another
I
town
still
to
don't
ruin it.
understand why they got kicked out.
Because they're unmentionables.
They're unsavory folk.
That's the word. As he gazed at his recumbent fellow exiles, the loneliness begotten of his pariah trade, his habits of life, his very vices, for the first time, it seriously oppressed him. He bestirred himself in dusting his black clothes, washing his hands and face, and other acts characteristic of his.
stirred himself. Just
Just
use
leave the erection
words.
alone.
It doesn't have to keep remaining.
It remained.
Does his erection remain still?
Hashtag the
Remains of the day.
And other acts characteristic of his studiously neat habits, and for a moment forgot his annoyance. The thought of deserting his weaker and more pitiable companions never perhaps occurred to him.
Oh, what a nice man.
Nice. Yet he could not help feeling the want of that excitement which, singularly enough, was most conducive to that calm equanimity for which he was notorious. He looked at the gloomy walls that
He
rose.
is notoriously even
Mhm.
of temperament.
Yep,
Just like famous for it.
Just people are always
Offensively.
talking about
like,
it.
Oh, he is notorious for being
Just so even keeled.
even keeled.
He looked at the gloomy walls that rose 1,000 feet sheer above the circling pines around him, at the sky, ominously clouded, at the valley below, already deepening into shadow. And doing so, suddenly, he heard his own name called. A horseman slowly ascended the trail. In the fresh, open face of the newcomer, Mr. Oakhurst recognized Tom Simpson, otherwise known as the Innocent of Sandy Bar.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm imagining this as a horseman, like a man
Yeah.
who is half man and half horse.
Oh, hello.
A centaur.
I am certain that we will be presented with evidence to the contrary, but
for
he will be
now,
a centaur.
We'll let you have your fun.
Thank you.
He had met him some months before over a little game, and had, with perfect equanimity,
Philosophic
He's
equanimity.
notorious for it.
won the entire fortune, amounting to some $40 of that guileless youth. After the game was finished, Mr. Oakhurst drew the youthful speculator. Speculator?
That's an old-timey word for centaur.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Behind the door and thus addressed him. Tommy, you're a good little man, but you can't gamble worth a cent. Don't try it over again.
Okay.
Rude.
But
You won.
How is that
just
the
let
first thing you say to him when you see him again?
you say hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Like, oh, hi, Tom.
What's going on?
He then handed him his money back, pushed him gently from the room, and so made a devoted slave of Tom Simpson.
Oh, this is
This is
Still-
part of the
This is
flashback.
after
the
he-
experience. Jesus Christ, this story.
Let's do it. We got it. We
We
got
can do
this.
this. We can do this. There was a remembrance of this in his boyish and enthusiastic greeting of Mr. Oakhurst. He had started, he said, to go to Poker Flat to seek his fortune. Alone? No, not exactly alone. In fact, a giggle. He had run it said a
That's,
giggle in
but
parentheses. In fact,
centaurs giggle a lot.
They do.
It's
They
true.
do.
Still
Are
no
they-
evidence
Are
that
they
he's
technically
not a centaur.
fairies?
I think so. I think
Or
they're
fairy adjacent?
Yeah, like
they?
nymph type creatures.
I would believe that.
I refuse.
Well, they are certainly magical like fairies. Yes.
They're
True.
magical
Okay,
in the
thank
magic family.
True.
Enchanted.
No,
Ow.
not a. There goes that water bottle again.
Some water bottle. Sluice.
No, not exactly alone. In fact, Teehee, he had run away with Piney Woods.
Teehee.
Didn't Mr. Oak? It was a giggle.
Tom
Didn't
Simpson.
Mr. Oakhurst remember Piney? She had Piney. She had
Piney.
used to wait on the table at the Temperance House. They had been engaged a long time, but old Jake Woods had objected. So they had run away. Who's Jake Woods?
I'm sorry. Wait, Piney
And
was
what's a temperance house?
Piney is
Okay.
a girl. She's
She
a
was-
waitress.
she was engaged to whom?
Tom
Tom
the
Simpson.
Innocent. Tom
Okay,
the Innocent
okay.
Simpson.
Okay.
And temperance house, is that someone's name or is
No,
that
I
a
think
place
it's
where
probably
they
a-
okay.
yeah.
She's a
it's-
waitress at a hotel.
Got it.
Hotel.
And then someone named Jake Woods was having none
Oh,
of it.
well, Jake. He's
Fucking Jake.
Jake.
Classic Jake.
Jake is a fawn. Wait, no, he's a satyr.
Sure.
Sure.
Playing a little flute all the time.
Yeah,
Why
and he
not?
doesn't. They always get in other people's business. That's their thing.
So it is written, so it is done. But old Jake Woods had objected, and so they had run away and were going to Poker Flat to be married. And here they were. And they were tired out, and how lucky it was they had found a place to camp in company. All this the Innocent delivered rapidly, while Piney, a stout, comely damsel of 15, emerged behind the pine tree, where she had been
How old is
blushing
Tom?
unseen.
Ugh.
These stories
Didn't
are
say.
about minors.
He's a young man, though. It just said he was young.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't say how old he is. He's a guileless youth, though.
Okay, let's
He is
hope
an
he's
innocent.
Yeah, let's
also-
assume that
yeah.
it's not
innocent.
so bad. Where she had been blushing unseen and rode to the side of her lover. Mr. Oakhurst seldom troubled himself with sentiment, still less with propriety, but he had a vague idea that the situation was not fortunate. He retained, however, his presence of mind sufficiently to kick Uncle Billy, who was about to say something, and Uncle Billy was sober enough to recognize in Mr. Oakhurst's kick a superior power that would not bear trifling. Okay. That is it's too much.
It's
too
too
much.
many.
It's
Oh
too
my
much.
The
God,
subtext
Twain
is
is right.
out of control.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
So
Not.
he kicks
Just do
Uncle Billy
not.
to like send him a message, but also kicks him hard enough to demonstrate that he's like
Well, it's
got really
like-
strong legs.
He's like
I think.
kicking him awake, I think.
Okay.
And it's like, well, he kicked him hard enough that Uncle Billy knew he meant business, kind of a thing.
That's
like,
not how
you better
kick
wake
someone
up.
awake.
I think.
you could just like shake someone awake and be like, "You gotta wake up."
Oh, boy. He then endeavored to dissuade Tom Simpson from delaying further, but in vain. He even pointed out the fact that there was no provision nor means of making a camp. But unluckily, the Innocent met this objection by assuring the party that he was provided with an extra mule loaded with provisions, and by the discovery of a rude attempt at a log house near the trail. Piney can stay with Mrs. Oakhurst, said the Innocent, pointing to the Duchess, and I can shift for myself.
Wait, so he just followed Oakhurst?
No.
I think they just happened upon each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in like
He's just
they're in a
like-
place that's perfect for camping.
He's
so,
from
He loves
Sandy Bar.
camping.
They're on their way to Poker
Okay.
Flats.
so they're maybe going opposite
We
directions.
need to camp.
hmm
Here we be. Oh, good, you guys are here. And she can stay with who he thinks is his wife,
Mhm.
but actually it's the Duchess.
Right.
And like, I'll just camp over here. And then boom.
He doesn't
we're-
even realize they're exiled.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
see.
Oh, boy. Piney can stay with Mrs. Oakhurst, said the Innocent, pointing to the Duchess, and I can shift for myself. Nothing but Mr. Oakhurst's admonishing foot saved Uncle Billy from bursting into a roar of laughter. As it was, he felt compelled to retire up the canyon until he could recover his gravity. There he confided the joke to the tall pine trees, with many slaps of his leg, contortions of his face, and the usual profanity. But when he returned to the party, he found them seated by a fire, for the air had grown strangely chill and the sky overcast, in apparently amicable conversation.
So Uncle Billy
Uncle Billy's
gets kicked,
so
starts laughing.
well, he thinks it's hilarious that Tom Simpson thought that the Duchess was Mrs. Oakhurst.
Yeah.
And he
maybe
thought it was
she's
so
a
funny.
hooker.
Right.
And he's like, That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm going to go tell some pine trees about this.
Do you think the pine trees like that?
No.
I think they cracked up. Yeah.
You think they're really into
they're
it?
shitty.
Oh, see, I felt like they were like, we already saw it. You don't have to tell us.
I don't think they did. He had to go up a
Oh,
ways.
to
Yeah,
the
he
different.
went a ways.
Yeah.
He didn't go to the local
Mhm.
pine trees.
Yeah. He felt compelled to retire up the canyon until
Uh-huh.
he could recover his gravity.
So he's
This is
scaling a
so-
cliff
Oh
wall.
my God.
This
So
is
he
not
is-
good
So
writing.
he is literally like, he's laughing so hard. He's like falling over. He's like, I have to like climb up this mountain. To, like,
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
like, excuse me a moment. I'm going to walk up a hill
You're too much. He's
until
too
I
much.
can stop laughing. But
Stop.
the writing
It's not
is
that funny, too.
Woof. Okay.
Oh.
Piney was actually talking in an impulsive, girlish fashion.
Well, she's a
Right.
girl. She's 15.
The Duchess, who was listening with an interest in animation she had not shown for many days. The innocent was holding forth apparently with equal effect to Mr. Oakhurst and Mother Shipton, who was actually relaxing into amiability. Is this your a D-D picnic?
Damned. I think they.
Maybe damned.
Oh.
He
Is
wanted
this
to
your-
censor
We're
himself.
censored here.
Damned picnic, said Uncle Billy with inward scorn as he surveyed the sylvan group, the
Man, this-
glancing firelight and the tethered animals in the foreground.
Uncle Billy's got all the zingers.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Classic Uncle Billy.
Damn picnic.
It was apparently, suddenly an idea mingled with the alcoholic fumes that disturbed his brain. It was apparently of a jocular nature, for he felt, Jesus Christ, for he felt impelled to slap his leg again and cram his fist into his mouth. What is he, a cartoon?
He is a cartoon. This is an old timey.
Ram
Oh my
his fist into his
God.
mouth?
Yeah.
He did the like
Like,
biting
Like
on
he's a
his
stooge. Like he's a
finger.
stooge.
yeah, I hate this.
I do
Yeah.
not like
This
it's
is
badly
real
written
bad.
and
Really
I
hate
don't know. It's stupid. Okay. As the shadows crept slowly up the mountain, a slight breeze rocked the tops of the pine trees and moaned through their long and gloomy aisles. The ruined cabin, patched and covered with pine boughs, was set apart for the ladies. As the lovers parted, they unaffectedly exchanged a kiss, so honest and sincere that it might have been heard above the swaying pines.
Heard?
I don't. Yeah, I
It's
guess it
honest
was like
and
such a
sincere kiss.
mwah. It like smacked throughout the canyon. The frail Duchess and the malevolent Mother Shipton were probably
don't like
too
that.
stunned.
Have you known loud kissers before?
What kind of? Wait. So
Like
what kind of
people-
loud? Like,
People in your
like-
lives, like when
they
they're
go,
kissing in the
"Mwah,"
other
or
room,
it's
like you
like-
can hear it.
oh yeah, it's when people have too like they don't have control over their mouth.
It's usually if you're like younger, right?
Yeah. Well, I've heard like older people do it.
I had a
Well, it's
roommate
probably
in
because they
Chicago.
don't have their teeth in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice. Throwing a little ageism in there. I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Fuck on people.
Fuck you. You're old.
Dumb non-teeth.
I had a roommate in Chicago. He and his girlfriend, they are now married, but they were so loud when they kissed.
Well, I'm glad they're married now, though.
Right. So now,
And then they can do it in the
now I
privacy of their own
approve
home. Well, you shouldn't
As long
kiss
as
before
they're
marriage.
married now.
You shouldn't kiss before
I'm
marriage.
glad
you should
you
wait.
told us.
Not audibly, anyway.
In high school, I knew a girl who was going to save her kiss for marriage.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm guessing she failed.
Yeah, she failed
miserably.
spectacularly.
Yeah.
And I remember like it
Was it-
made guys like really like they were like, I want
I'm gonna get that kiss.
Wow,
Ooh,
that's some
that's
real
great.
classic like 50s.
Yeah.
I want to be the one to
Deflower.
pop
Take
a
it,
cherry
yeah.
thing.
Do you think
Gross.
if you were doing the like saving your kiss for, your first kiss to get married, that you would do like hand stuff and like fool around
Yeah.
with people otherwise?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you
like
I
how-
think you like let someone shit on you, but you
Yeah.
Yeah, like how
Just spread it
girls-
around like
Yeah.
a cookie on
Yeah.
your chest.
Yeah, yeah.
girls and boys who are religious and saving themselves for marriage
Yeah.
have anal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the hymen's intact, but
Uh-huh.
that boo hole's
Yep.
wide open.
I
doesn't-
don't think it bodes well for our opinion of this story that we have stopped telling it or
Yeah.
are just
Yeah.
talking about other stuff.
I know. This is the most
Oh,
off.
boy.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm hot.
Saddlebacking, I believe, is what Dan Savage calls that.
Is when you go
Saddlebacking?
go
I
go
believe
in
so.
the boo
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Specifically to
to avoid
avoid, yeah.
losing the
losing.
virginity.
Mhm.
saddlebacking. That's very funny. As the Okay, the frail Duchess and the malevolent Mother Shipton. How is she malevolent? What is her story?
We
if
don't
I don't know
know.
these people's
Yeah.
stories, I don't understand why it's so fucking funny that they thought the Duchess was fucking.
Well, I
Bret
think he's
Harte.
It's a
just
tree
like-
joke. He
yeah,
wouldn't get
He
it.
really
Yeah.
should have stayed with his strength, which is wrestling. Blah, blah, blah. Malevolent Mother Shipton were probably too stunned to remark upon this last evidence of simplicity, and so turned without a word to the hut. The fire was replenished, the men lay down before the door, and in a few minutes were asleep. Mr. Oakhurst was a light sleeper. Toward morning he awoke benumbed and cold. As he stirred the dying fire, the wind,
Benumbed!
which was now blowing strongly,
Numb also works.
Yeah, you can just say numb.
he was numb from the cold. Oh, yeah. He is like, he's trying so hard. He's
Yeah.
so insecure.
You know, I get why. You know what?
This is a first pass,
I think
right?
nothing happened between Mark
He
Twain and
just
him.
read
He
this
read this
story.
and he was like, how dare you let him represent the United States?
Yeah, do not send this man in an official capacity
He's a monster.
to
He
Germany.
is a monster.
People who write badly are monsters.
It's true.
That tracks.
As he stirred the dying fire, the wind, which was now blowing strongly, brought to his cheek that which caused the blood to leave it. Snow!
Wait, seriously? That which brought. I'm
This
sorry.
fucking sentence.
I
As
can't.
I just want to repeat
Yeah,
it.
go
Can
back.
you do it again?
As he stirred the dying fire, the wind,
Mhm.
which was now blowing strongly,
hmm
brought to his cheek that which caused the blood to leave it. Dash. Snow! Exclamation mark.
The blood leaves the
I-
wind.
No.
No,
Oh my
it's-
God.
The
Snow
cheek.
came to his cheek,
And
and,
it
it was
made
so
him, like,
cold.
This blood went away
It
from his.
brought, but blood your cheeks get red when it's
No,
cold.
so it was like the wind like pushed his face so hard
I don't think that's what
that
He just got like
I don't
knocked
think
over.
that's what it was.
that the blood
He's gonna
like, got
bruise.
pushed
No.
away.
No,
like,
it's not what it
okay,
was,
like look at
Kelly.
my finger.
He just
I'm gonna
doesn't know how
squeeze
cold
it. Do you
Yeah,
works.
show me on your
See
finger.
how
Show me
it's
on your finger. How,
white?
yeah.
See that? That's the wind.
Snow.
Snow.
Snow! Okay, now I get it.
You get it.
He started to his feet with the intention of awakening the sleepers, for there was no time to lose.
Awaken the sleepers.
But
Sorry.
turning to where Uncle Billy...
Sorry, I'm really hot right now. I don't feel
also,
well.
we're all really bored.
Yeah.
This is incredibly boring.
Oh boy. But turning to where Uncle Billy had been lying, he found him gone. A suspicion leapt to his brain.
He's
and a
telling
curse-
jokes to trees.
Yeah, he's just in the trees.
No, he stole something from the lovers.
Oh,
A suspicion
shit.
leapt to his
A
brain
kiss?
and a curse to his lips.
A loud
he
kiss.
He stole a chaste but noisy kiss.
Oh God.
And she went, no, he stole my chaste kiss. He ran to the spot where the mules had been tethered. They were no longer there.
Oh,
the tracks
shit.
were already rapidly disappearing in the snow.
Oh fuck.
Oh boy. The momentary excitement brought Mr. Oakhurst back to the fire with his usual calm.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The excitement
Yeah.
brought him back
to the
with
fire.
his
with his-
notorious
Right.
calm.
Oh my God.
He- Okay, so something
So he was
exciting
at sub.
calmed
calm?
him. No, he was
He
was energetic, and he was like, "Oh no, where's Uncle Billy? Oh fuck, everything's gone. Oh, the excitement has made me so very calm."
Okay.
All right.
Very
okay.
even keeled.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, Bret
Bret.
Harte and Boehm.
Yeah. To both, I brandish my fist.
Yeah. He did not waken the sleepers. The innocent slumbered peacefully with a smile on his good-humored, freckled face. The virgin Piney slept beside her frailer sisters as sweetly
She's
as
still a
though-
virgin?
Mhm.
He didn't. He
They have
didn't.
that chaste kiss.
Yeah, but like they're
There's-
married. They
No,
should
but
be.
They're not
fucking.
married. They're going to Poker
Oh.
Flats to marry.
I thought you were gonna say they're going.
They're
he's
going
like,
to poker.
Yeah, poker.
Would that this story were that interesting. Okay. Sweetly as though attended by celestial guardians, and Mr. Oakhurst, drawing his blanket over his shoulders, stroked his mustaches and waited for the dawn.
What? Hold on.
He has multiple. He has
Sorry.
This keeps them in the binder.
He's got stash on stash on stash on stash.
Yeah, he just like gets them out and is just stroking them in his little binder.
Never stop
Shall I wear
stroking
today?
stashes.
I'm picturing it like a Yu-Gi-Oh card binder,
that's what
but
I'm saying
like
too.
with mustaches inside.
I'd just like to interject with, since we can't yell at Bret, I'd just like to say that Janari's over there illustrating.
Who is he drawing? Is he drawing? Is he
No,
drawing one
he's
of
drawing
us?
such a
he's drawing.
unique-
Oh, what a
Wow.
unique! Wow, beautiful work.
Just
He could use more
Santa.
mustaches, though.
He's such a talented young man.
What a talent. I mean, honestly, we are here witnessing true art being made.
Birthed before us.
Birthed. While we're reading
over here.
this dribble.
This fucking
This
boring
Jeremy
fucking
dribble.
Shit. There
Ooh, burn.
we are like
About
halfway through this shit.
Oh my God.
And
I
only
can't-
now has
I
something truly happened. I cannot with you, Brett.
Everything that we've just
So,
done,
Brett's.
we have to do
Brett's.
again. We're
all,
halfway
all
done.
Bretts are on notice.
Yeah, every time we read a sentence, we're like, okay, let's unpack this.
Okay. Let's go. Let's get through
All
this.
right,
Let's get through
all
this. We don't
right.
have a ton of time.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, he was stroking his mustache.
Yeah, that's right. His
It came
mustaches.
slowly in a whirling mist of snowflakes that dazzled and confused the eye.
Nice.
What could be seen of the landscape appeared magically changed. He looked over the valley and summoned up the present and future in 2 words. Snowed in! Careful inventory of the
Snowed in? Is that what you
Snowed
said?
in!
Snowden.
Snowden.
It brought forth
Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Okay, so he looked over the valley,
Yeah, oh.
summed up the present and future in 2 words. Snowed in.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
That is so. I hate that.
I know.
Summed up the
Let's-
present.
All right,
and
you
future.
guys, we have to
we
get
have to
through
keep going.
this.
We have to go.
It is already 8:20.
Okay,
we
let's
have
go.
Oh my
another
God.
guest coming
I
in
know,
let's go,
40
let's go, let's
minutes.
go.
We have to do it.
This
We have
is
to do
going to
it.
take us hours to
We'll
get
do-
through
we'll-
if we
we'll
keep
do-
I don't
going
know
at
that we're
this
going to
pace.
make it. Like, I
don't
think
know.
we might die of heat exhaustion and
that would
delirium.
be the funniest outcome.
We can't finish it.
Is that we're like, Brett, we couldn't finish it. There wasn't time.
Okay.
We had to unpack every sentence.
Let's go. I'm so hot.
Okay. A careful inventory of the provisions, which fortunately for the party had been stored within the hut and so escaped the felonious fingers of Uncle Billy,
Oh my God.
disclosed the fact that with care and prudence, they might last 10 days longer. That is, said Mr. Oakhurst, Soto voice, Soto.
Sotto
Oh,
voce?
Sotto voce.
Sotto
So he's like
voce
whispering.
to the innocent. If you're willing
Cool.
to, what a fucking pretentious little Jeremy Diddler.
Yeah.
For some occult reason, Mr. Oakhurst could not bring himself to disclose Uncle Billy's rascality, and so offered the hypothesis that he had wandered from the camp and had accidentally stampeded the animals.
Occult used to mean strange.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay,
so,
I thought he was just being a dick again.
No.
Okay.
so we're making excuses for Uncle Billy?
He's
at this
like,
point?
for some reason, I don't want to tell people, so I'm just going to say that he Lion Kinged himself. He went full Mufasa,
That's right.
Mhm.
And there was a
and there was a
stampede.
of wildebeests.
Yes, wildebeest. I was going to say antelope, and I was like, that's not.
No, it's
No, that's not big enough.
Ugh. He dropped a warning to the Duchess and Mother Shipton, who of course knew the facts of their associates' defection. Almost said defecation. They'll
Nice.
find out the truth about us all when they find out anything, he added significantly, and there's no good frightening them now. Tom Simpson was not only put all his worldly store at the disposal of Mr. Oakhurst, but seemed to enjoy the prospect of their enforced seclusion. We'll have a good camp for a week, and then the snow will melt, and we'll all go back together.
Go back where? To the town? They're not allowed there
Poker
anymore.
Flat.
They
They
don't-
don't.
But they
he
don't know
doesn't
this
know
information.
that.
Oh, this
And
is
he's
innocent.
innocent.
This
I'm
is
sorry. I
innocent
can't keep
Tom.
track of who's talking.
Okay, I'm going to try
Innocent.
to distinguish more with voices.
No, sure.
Okay.
It's mostly the heat.
I know. The cheerful gaiety of the young man and Mr. Oakhurst's calm infected the others. The innocent, with the aid of pine boughs, extemporized a thatch for the roofless cabin, and
Oh my God.
and the Duchess directed Piney in the rearrangement of the interior with a taste and tact that opened the blue eyes of that provincial maiden to their fullest extent.
Oh my God.
I reckon now you're used to fine things at Poker Flat, said Piney. The Duchess turned away sharply to conceal something that reddened her cheeks, though through its professional tint. Oh yeah, she a hoe.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Mother Shipton requested Piney not to chatter. But when Mr. Oakhurst returned from a weary search for the trail, he heard the sound of happy laughter echoed from the rocks. He stopped in some alarm, and his thoughts first naturally reverted to the whiskey, which he had prudently cached. And yet it don't somehow sound like whiskey, said the gambler. It was not until he caught sight of the blazing fire through the still blinding storm and the group around it that he settled to the conviction that it was square fun.
Huh?
All right.
He's like, wow, are they drunk?
He thought they were
Nope,
drinking.
They're
No,
just
they're just
fucking
they're just having
bored.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether Mr. Oakhurst had cached his cards with the whiskey as something debarred the free... What? How does this lead? Okay. No, that's the first
Talking a
one.
lot about cachet.
Right. So he had
Blah, blah, blah.
hidden away the
square
whiskey.
Fun.
Yeah.
Whether Mr. Oakhurst had cached his cards with the whiskey as something debarred the free access of the community, I cannot say. Who is I all of a sudden?
Oh no.
Who's this narrator?
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh no. And it
is
was
this narrator
I.
who just
Tree.
jumped
The spirit
in?
of the snow.
If you start the story that way, sure, but you can't just
No,
throw
you
in
can't-
an I.
On page 3 of your 4-page,
you don't
3.5 page
throw in
story,
an I.
Yeah.
you can't
Good Lord.
you can't introduce I.
Okay. Oh boy. It was certain that, in Mother Shipton's words, he didn't say cards once during that evening. That was in quotes. Happily, the time was beguiled by an accordion. What?
I'm sorry. So they played some accordion.
Happily, the time was beguiled by an accordion produced somewhat ostentatiously by Tom Simpson from his pack. An accordion was just in his backpack.
And was then produced
Ostentatiously. So he gets it out and is like,
Speaking of
"Ta-da!"
ostentatious, Jesus
I know this writing is
Christ.
ostentatious. It's a little purple, am I
It's a
right?
little insecure. Notwithstanding some difficulties attending the manipulation of this instrument,
Oh my God.
I can't. This is
Tom can't play the damn instrument.
which were deftly operated by his 10 digits.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
it's tiring. I mean, honestly,
It
I
is-
bet it's like 60 degrees in here and we
It
just
is-
feel
That's
like it's hot.
I might say it is obfuscating the true heft of the story, 'tis not.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
Fuck you,
How dare.
Bret Harte.
How dare.
How dare indeed. Oh boy. But the crowning festivity of the evening was reached in a rude camp meeting hymn, which the lovers, joining hands, sang with great earnestness and vociferation.
Oh my God.
Vociferation.
Are you kidding
I
me?
don't know.
This is true. This Mark
it is.
Twain.
Yeah.
Mark Twain was dead
He was
right.
speaking truth.
Dead right.
I can't.
We should have
Truth
heeded
to
his warning.
mediocrity.
I
He
know.
was
We just thought he was
speaking truth to
mean.
mediocrity.
This is
I will-
awful.
I take back everything I said
If
about Mark
I
Twain.
found out that this guy was up for an official government
yeah,
position,
I would do
Yes.
everything I
would do
could.
everything in my power to keep it from happening.
Yeah. Awful.
Here we go. Okay. Blee. I think Twain gave him notes and then Bret flipped the fuck out.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was like,
Or-
Like, you're just
can't-
jealous of my vocabulary.
Guess what? I
Hmm.
bet maybe at a party, Bret tried to give Mark notes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, let me read what you've done. And then he's like, what the shit?
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Oh my
Oh,
God.
boy. Ugh. I fear that a certain defiant tone and Covenanter swing to its chorus, rather than any devotional quality, caused it speedily to infect the others, who at last joined in the refrain. I don't know how this goes, so I'm proud to live in the service of the Lord, and I'm bound to die in his army.
I'm proud to live in the service.
of this Lord, and I give it his bounty.
And I know I'm
That-
free.
And I know I'm free.
All right. It is Patrick's
Am I
turn.
going? God
Good luck.
damn it. The pines rocked. The storm eddied and whirled above the miserable group, and the flames of their altar leaped heavenward as if a token of the vow.
Okay.
Oh, whatever.
So
dude.
the forest loves it.
Forrest fucking loves it.
Forrest is joining in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
At midnight, the storm abated. So we are now back in nighttime.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
The clouds, the rolling clouds parted, and the stars glittered keenly above the sleeping camp. Mr. Oakhurst, whose professional habits had enabled him to live with the smallest possible amount of sleep, in dividing the watch with Tom Simpson, somehow managed to take upon himself the greater part of the duty. He excused himself to
I
the
don't know
innocent.
who this guy is apart from being calm.
Yeah. He's just calm. He's a
He doesn't need a
gambler.
lot of sleep.
He's a philosopher.
Mm-hmm.
He's calm.
He excused
Boring.
himself to the innocent by saying that he had, quote, often been weak without sleep. Doing what? Asked Tom. Poker, replied Oakhurst. Centennially? Okay.
You don't have to
Oh
say
my
that.
God.
You don't have to say that. You
No
could
one
just
asked
say,
you to say
You could
that.
just say, okay.
No one asked you to phrase it that
You
way.
can say, oh.
No.
When a man gets a streak of luck, he don't get tired. The luck gives in first. Luck, he continued, continued the gambler reflectively, is a mighty queer thing. All you know about it for certain is that it's bound to change, and it's finding out when it's going to change that makes you. Okay.
Okay.
This is impossible.
This is impossible. We've had a streak of bad luck since we left Poker Flat. You came along and you get slapped into it, and you get slapped into it too. If you can hold your cards right along, you're all right. For, added the gambler with cheerful irreverence, I'm proud to live in the service of the Lord, and I'm bound to die in his army.
Wait.
I
I
don't know.
I think he's teasing him for being religious.
Yeah, I think
don't
he is.
care.
The third day came, and the sun, looking through the white curtained valley, saw the outcasts divide their slowly decreasing store of provisions for the morning meal. It was one of the peculiarities of the mountain climate that its rays diffused a kindly warmth over the wintry landscape, as if in regretful commiseration of the past. Sure.
Cool.
But it revealed drift on drift of snow piled high around the hut. A hopeless, uncharted, trackless sea of white lying below the rocky shores to which the castaways still clung. Through a marvelously clear air, oh my God.
It's impossible to try to make jokes or comments throughout when I am working so fucking hard
Yeah, I'm trying to
to
understand.
get through these fucking sentences.
Through the marvelously clear air, the smoke of the pastoral village of Poker Flat rose miles away. Mother Shipton saw it, and from a remote pinnacle of her rocky fastness, hurled in that direction a final malediction.
So she just yelled.
Yeah,
she was like,
fuck
this.
you, Poker Flat.
Yeah.
It was her. Oh my Lord! It was her last vita pure attempt, and perhaps for that reason was invested with a certain degree of sublimity.
Okay.
It did her good, she privately informed the Duchess. Quote, just go out there and cuss and see. Then she set herself the task of amusing the child, as she and the Duchess were pleased to call Piney. Piney was no chicken, but it was still soothing, and the original theory of the pair thus to account for the fact that she did not swear wasn't improper. No idea.
What?
I think
Okay.
they're teasing her for not swearing at
Yeah,
Poker Flats.
yeah, and because she's young and she's a kid.
Child makes her
bred.
not a chicken. Okay.
Not a chicken. I mean, chicken, that can mean like a young something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. When the night crept up again through the gorges, the reedy notes of the accordion rose and fell in fitful spasms and long-drawn gasps by flickering campfire.
So now we're at the end of the third day already.
I believe so, yes. We went from midnight to third day to midnight
to
of the
midnight,
third day. But the music failed to fill entirely the aching void left by insufficient food, and a new diversion was proposed by Piney. Storytelling. Neither Mr. Oakhurst nor his female companions...
Well, I hope Bret wasn't there to share one.
Behold this tale, my friends. Neither Mr. Oakhurst nor his female companions caring to relate their personal experiences, this plan would have failed too, but for the innocent. Some months before, he had chanced upon a stray copy of Mr. Pope's ingenious translation of the Iliad. Are we going to get the Iliad now?
They're gonna
just retell the Iliad.
They're
They're going to put on the show. They're going to put on the show.
All of a sudden, Judy Garland
and Kermit the Frog.
and Kermit the Frog pop out, and they're like, "You guys."
He now proposed to narrate the principal incidents of the poem, having thoroughly mastered the argument and fairly forgotten words in the current vernacular of Sandy Bar.
I'm so hot.
For the
I'm
rest
so hot.
of that night, the Homeric demigods walked among the earth again.
Okay, great.
Trojan bully and wily Greek wrestled in the winds, and the great pines in the canyons seemed to bow to the wrath of the mighty Peleus. Mr.
I really
Oakhurst,
hope Mark Twain just pops up at the at some point in this story and goes, "This guy's a fucking asshole,"
Yeah.
right? Like just somehow Mark Twain injected
Yeah.
his voice.
he
just
projects
takes
himself
over.
into yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Oakhurst listened with quiet satisfaction. Most especially, he was interested in the fate of Ash Heels, as the innocent persisted in denominating the swift-footed Achilles.
Okay.
So the innocent is also a fucking idiot. Have you guys seen that clip of the a person playing Wheel of Fortune, and they're trying to solve the puzzle, and all the letters are up there, and it says like Mighty Hero Achilles, and the guy reads Mighty Hero Achilles, and they don't give it to him.
That's
Really?
mean.
Yeah.
That's really mean.
That's mean.
Anyway, that's
fuck
the
Wheel of
innocent.
Fortune.
Yeah. Fuck Wheel
Fuck Pat.
and Vanna.
Say
Sajak.
Sajak.
Sagar.
Pat Sagar.
That's why
and
there was a
Vanna
big old long pause
Whitson.
before I tried to say it because I didn't know.
So with small food and much of Homer and the accordion, a week passed. Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Over the heads of the outcasts. The sun again forsook them, and again from leaden skies the snowflakes were sifted over the land. Day by day, closer around them drew the snowy circle, until at last they looked from their prison over drifted walls of dazzling white that towered 20 feet above their heads. It became more and more difficult to replenish their fires, even from the fallen trees beside them, now half hidden in the drifts. And yet no one complained. The leftovers turned from dreary prospect. What? The lovers turned from dreary prospect and looked into each other's eyes and were happy. Mr. Oakhurst settled himself
They were
coolly.
full on love.
Full on in love.
My Timmy's full on love.
Okay, Mr. Oakhurst settled himself coolly. You don't need to settle yourself.
No.
You are famously calm.
Yeah.
Okay, to losing the game before him. The Duchess, more cheerful than she had been, assumed the care of Piney.
Are they all going mad with hunger and they're just getting more and more cheerful?
I mean, it seems like they're having
I
a
don't know
nice time.
what's
This is a
going
story
on.
of people getting trapped and having a nice time.
A very nice time.
If someone doesn't eat someone else before the story is over,
Seriously.
Yeah, Donner Party.
What the fuck?
only Mother Shipton, once the strongest of the party, seemed to stricken and fade. At midnight on the 10th day, she called Oakhurst to her side.
Oh no.
"I'm going," she said,
Oh,
in a
where?
voice
Oh, boy.
of querulous weakness. Sorry, so we'll do that again. "I'm going," she said.
That was great.
In a
That's
voice of
totally
querulous
querulous.
weakness.
Mm-hmm.
"But don't say anything about it. Don't waken the kids. Take the bundle from under my head and open it."
What?
Mr. Oakhurst did so. It contained Mother Shipton's rations for the last week, untouched. "Give 'em to the child," she said, pointing to the sleeping Piney. "You've starved yourself." Oh, this is the gambler. Sorry. "You've starved yourself," said the gambler.
Oh.
"That's what they call it," said the woman querulously.
That's what they call it? Yeah, that is what they call
Yeah.
it because that's what it's called.
She lay down again, turning her face to the wall, passed quietly away. She's dead.
Oh my God, she just dies right then?
"That's what they call it. Dead."
Dead.
The accordion and the bones were put aside that day.
Wait, I'm sorry.
The
They ate
accordion
her.
and the bones were put aside that day. And
Wait.
Homer was forgotten.
Wait.
I don't know.
bones?
The next sentence negates that.
Okay.
When the body of Mother Shipton had been committed to the snow,
Okay.
Mr. Oakhurst took the innocent aside and showed him a pair of snowshoes, which he had fashioned from an old pack saddle. "There's one chance in 100 to save her yet," he said, pointing to Piney. "But it's there," he added, pointing toward Poker Flat. "If you can reach there in 2 days, she's safe." "And you?" asked Tom Simpson. "I'll stay here," was the curt reply. So,
Why don't they all fashion snowshoes?
Yeah,
and
then
leave?
well, they
all
can't all go back to Poker Flat.
Oh, they're not
But
allowed.
they can keep going to Sandy Bay.
I mean, I don't know why they're
Make
not
a try
traveling
of
this
it.
whole. Yeah, maybe
Why are
try.
they just making camp? This
Why
whole
don't they
time?
just eat Mother
They're
Shipton?
They should just eat Mother Shipton.
Just eat
There's
Mother
Honestly,
so
Shipton.
many
it wouldn't
wives.
take me that long to eat a person.
How long do you think? 12 hours?
Well, like
3.
how long to decide
come
to eat
on.
a person or how long to actually eat the person?
Well, I'd have to. Well, it would have to be in a snowy place because I'd be worried about them going bad.
Sure.
Sure. I think if someone else is
Obs-
enthusiastic about it, it's only a couple hours for me. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
If it means I'm
I
gonna
can't spearhead
die,
it. But
yeah, I can't start
if
it.
I've been stranded long enough.
Actually, I could start it.
you can start it?
If they were already dead,
I'd eat someone
if
with
they
you,
were
Kelly.
already dead, would you break bones with me?
The lovers parted with long embrace.
Oh.
"You're not going too?" said the Duchess, as she saw Mr. Oakhurst apparently waiting to accompany him. "As far as the canyon," he replied. He turned suddenly and kissed the Duchess, leaving her pallid face aflame and her trembling limbs rigid with amazement.
Yeah, no,
Amazement.
panties were wet.
Like that cookie.
Like that cookie.
Night came.
Again, we just keep
Night came,
jump cutting
Night
to
just
night.
keeps snow-
but
yeah.
not Mr. Oakhurst.
Oh,
Oh,
he didn't come back.
He did not come back.
they didn't have
He
sex.
remained erect.
They didn't have sex. He remained erect.
It brought the storm again and the whirling snow. Then the Duchess, feeding the fire, found found that someone had quietly piled beside the but enough fuel to last a few days longer. Fine. The tears rose to her eyes, but she hid them from Piney. So
I
now
thought they left.
Oakhurst
left.
and has not returned.
Yeah.
But
the innocent has also left.
And not returned. And
So I
then,
think it's just Piney and Duchess.
Piney and Duchess are alone. Okay, where's Uncle Billy? I forgot about him. Where is he?
He's
gone.
Took off.
trampled by wildebeests.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The women slept a little. In the morning, looking into each other's faces, they read their fate. Neither spoke, but Piney, accepting the position of the stronger, drew near and placed her arm around the Duchess's waist. They kept this attitude for the rest of the day. That night, the storm reached its greatest fury, and, rending asunder the protecting pines, invaded the very hut. Toward morning, they found themselves unable to feed the fire, which gradually died away. As the embers slowly blackened, the Duchess crept closer to Piney and broke the silence of many hours. "Piney, can you pray?" "No, dear," said Piney simply.
What?
I don't know. The Duchess.
Everyone can pray.
Not everyone can pay. Piney cannot pray.
Piney can't pray.
Unless
Piney
you're
don't
opposed
pray.
to it. I'm in snow
Now.
deep.
The Duchess, without knowing exactly why, felt relieved and putting her head upon Piney's shoulder, spoke no more. They're freezing to death, right?
Yeah, but why is she glad she can't pray?
I don't know. She's just like, yeah,
She
we're
want
just
to be
gonna
bored by a prayer.
She's like, oh, thank God, I didn't want to listen to that.
Okay.
We are so
This is
disinterested in this
how
story.
bored.
We have like 5 lines left, and we're not reading it. We're not doing
We're
it.
done?
No,
That'd
do
be
it.
really funny.
Tell us how it
That'd be
ends.
really funny.
So they're freezing to death. They're
That'd be
freezing to
so
death.
funny though.
Piney can't pray. The
Piney can't
Duchess,
pray.
without
Duchess
knowing
loves
exactly
it.
why, felt relieved, put her
Mhm.
head on Piney's shoulder, spoke no
Move
more.
no more.
And in so reclining, the younger and purer, pillowing the head of her soiled sister upon her virgin breast, they fell asleep. A lot of judgment in the end of that sentence.
Yeah.
The wind lulled as if it feared to waken them. Feathery drifts of snow, shaken from the long pine boughs, felt like white-winged birds and settled about them as they slept. The moon, through the rifted clouds, looked upon what had been the camp. But all human stain, all trace of earthly travail, was hidden beneath the spotless mantle mercifully flung from above. Mercifully flung from above?
Mercifully.
Okay. Well, I was just
Mercifully.
It seems like it would be mercilessly.
Yeah.
The snow shows no mercy.
The
they were
snow
like,
is like being like, oh, I'll
kindly.
cover you.
I'm
with-
We
gonna
don't have to
bury,
see this.
I'm going to
Yeah.
bury you with nature.
yeah.
They slept all the day and the next day, nor did they waken when voices and footsteps broke the silence of the camp. And when pitying fingers brushed the snow from their worn faces, you could scarcely have told from the equal peace that dwelt upon them, which was she that had sinned.
Oh my God.
I hate this.
Slut and virgin look the same in the snow.
Yeah.
Even
In
the
death, we're all the same, even if you were a dirty, dirty whore during life.
dirty. Even if you ate that cookie.
Even if you ate that wet cookie.
Even the law of Poker Flats recognized this and turned away, leaving them still locked in each other's arms.
Okay.
They just left them there? They didn't even bury them?
I don't know. It seems like
don't know.
they maybe suspect them of like diddling each other.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think.
No, I think they're just like, oh, this is
Who
a
gives a
bummer.
shit? Sure.
In
Let's
death,
leave.
she is so pure.
Yeah.
But at the head of the gulch, on the largest of the pines, they found the deuce of clubs pinned to the bark with a Bowie knife. It bore the following, written in pencil, in a firm hand.
I am
Probably a firm,
notoriously
calm
calm
hand.
about my death.
Beneath this tree lies the body of John Oakhurst, who struck a streak of bad luck on the 23rd of November, 1850, and handed in his checks on the 7th December, 1850. That's what he leaves on his own
Right.
grave marker.
He buried himself.
And pulseless and cold, with Derringer by his side and a bullet in his heart, though still calm as in life, beneath the snow lay he who was at once the strongest and yet weakest of the outcasts of Poker Flat.
What a fucking terrible nothing
Nobody
of a story.
got eaten.
Nothing
this.
happened.
I hated this story so
Nothing
much.
happened.
Nothing happened, and then they all
Nothing
died.
happened. They
Here's the
got
thing.
kicked out of town because a bunch of stuff got stolen, and Poker Flats is like, we're not having it. And then they went to the fucking Yellowstone.
That's right.
And
And they
a
died
storm
there.
happened and they died.
Yeah. And the men
That
leave to
is
like
not
be
a
heroes.
story.
But they all died?
Kill themselves, or we don't know what happens to the
It's not
innocent.
a story.
Wait, but we don't know what happened to the innocent.
Innocent
So
maybe
or
the
Mother
innocent
Shipton.
came back. Maybe that's
Mother
who brought the
Shipton, she
poker
died.
flat.
But they
She
were
died
talking about
first.
they were talking about taking her body back to Poker Flat, and like they could save her.
No.
No. It was
Did I misunderstand
if
it?
It's like, hey, innocent, if you get your ass to Poker Flats quickly,
You can save
You can
Piney.
get
You
saved.
can save Piney.
Piney.
see.
You can bring people back. And I think maybe he did. And so maybe
And that's what
he's
the end
alive.
there is.
But also,
But he
who
killed-
gives a flying
God.
Yeah.
because
God.
nothing happened in this story and it was badly written. Mark Twain was right.
To read.
Yeah, that was impossible to read.
Wow. Mark Twain
Horrible.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Some really insecure writing.
Incredibly insecure.
Mhm.
Oh,
That
God.
was the word for it.
Can you imagine how terrible it must be to spend time with this author?
Well, the thing is, maybe he's delightful in person.
No,
and that's
you can't
but
be
they
delightful.
Were friends.
You
They
can't-
were friends first.
They were friends for a time. That's true.
I've been friends with people I hate now.
Great point.
Yeah, but I've also been friends with bad writers.
This bad?
I don't know. I couldn't
don't
give an
know.
example, but I
Name
think
names.
yes. I think yes.
I mean, this feels to
don't
me
keep
like
a
a
list,
first draft.
But
right?
I have.
like this. These are all the words that like he.
I would not be surprised if this came out normal and then he just kept
No.
adding
No,
and adding
no,
and adding
really?
and adding to it to
What a
make it sound
monster.
smarter.
Ugh.
Because he was trying to sound smart and good.
Well, because
And
obviously
he
there's
just kept
nothing like
adding
plotted
shit.
here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's like,
Ugh.
I'm gonna just keep adding words. He's
No.
like, I'm so fucking clever. I'm clever. I'm clever. Please like me. Please like
What's
me.
the
Maybe-
minimum word count for this thing?
Maybe
Automatic
he's, you know
adjectives.
what? Maybe
I'll
he
add
was
an
like,
ostentatiously to this accordion.
maybe he was like on laudanum or something.
I don't know. But he's not a good writer.
No, he's not. It's very bad. Thank you so much for joining us to read
Oh,
this
yeah.
terrible
Thank
story,
you.
Patrick.
Thank you. It was a
Um,
delight.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh, I would love to plug the podcast that we mentioned before, Nintendo Cartridge Society and Same Day Shipping. Just check those out. One's about Nintendo and the other is about relationships and popular culture. Also check out Retcon Punch, where I write about comic books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those things.
Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me at Patrick_Ehlers. Ehlers is EHLERS.
Great.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Pleasure to have you again, Patrick.
Thank you for having
We
me.
love having you. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. I know that we said we were going to do shout outs. We have to sit down and figure out which ones we've
Apple
already said.
Podcasts did this thing where they mix it all up.
Yeah, it's
It
not
is
great.
very hard to tell which ones we have already read. It's not in chronological
Nope.
order. So it's not our fault. It's Apple Podcast's fault.
Yeah.
But if you want to support the podcast, please rate and write a review for us.
It seriously, that helps us so much. Tell a friend. And
Tell your English teacher from high school.
Yeah. Be like, hey, Mr. Harburger.
Call up the Hart family and be like, yours was the better Bret.
Yeah. Call
No,
them up and
all
the
Bretts are on
wrestling-
notice.
go find
All
his.
Bretts are
Can
on
we
notice,
go-
especially Bret Boehm.
Can we, Lindsay, can
What?
we go find his grave?
And put that same marker on it.
Oh my God. No, I was going to say take a poo poo on it.
I don't
Oh,
want to
the
shit on
the
a
deuce of
man's
spades.
Yes. And you can follow our show on social
find our
media.
show on
I was gonna
social
say
media.
on
Twitter.
I'm so hot.
It
right
is
now.
so
It's
hot.
so fucking hot, and that story was so fucking boring.
At Public Domain Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We love you and keep it lit.
Forever. Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Bret Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram at Forever Dog Team and liking our page on Facebook.